This conference will now be recorded.
As I said, the substitution topic I had to take next class because due to some technical issue, it's showing. But today I'll just continue with the important topic. It's very much important from the point of interview and other things and all. So what is this actually? It's a tables and fields which you should understand. So these tables and fields, which are very much important for a consultant because the database, how database is updated, it's going to update when you post entries, when you save to some things, and all these things are going to be updated in backend tables and fields concept. Being a consultant and in interview, it's mandatory that you may have to answer the which are the important tables in FICO, and you may have to deal with in real time with these tables and fields. Frequently, you may have to keep uh, visiting to the tables and fields. Let me explain you what is table and what is field. So tables and fields, the information, it may be a creation of company code, it may be a configuration, it might be posting of entries, it might be GL account creation, any data, whatever you do and post or else you do and save, that go and sit and go and save it in one table. What is the meaning of table? It's a storage database. It's a cluster in a database. Example, take an example. You have just three balls in your hand. Three balls means three colored balls. Just I'm taking an general example, colored balls in your hand, maybe red, green, and blue. I give you one bucket, and you have a number of balls. You don't know how much ball red, how much green, and how much blue. Just I give you one bucket, a big bucket. So in that bucket, you put all the balls. If I ask you, can you please tell me how much red balls are there? Can you tell me after putting into the buckets? If I ask you how much red balls and how much green balls and how much blue balls, how do you count it? Yes, Santosh and Mother, how do you count it?
So based on the colors, we will count.
Color. So you have to take out all the balls out and you have to count it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Santosh?
Based on color and ball size and bucket size.
Yes, okay. You like see just one imagine I had given one bucket and one balls. You don't know how much balls are there. I don't know how much balls are there. Red, green, blue. So nothing is we don't know. Just we put into buckets. After putting into buckets, if I ask you how many red balls and how many green balls and how many blue balls, how do you count it? You have to take out all the balls from bucket and you have to count it, right? Yes, Santosh, you got my point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to do that because when you are putting there, you are putting in every balls into one bucket, and then when you want to know that the details, how much or something else, you have to take out and count it. If I give three buckets, what you do? Then you don't need to take all the balls. Only if I ask you how much red is there, so that you can go to red wherever the red bucket, red balls you put in the bucket, and you can count only red how much is there. It's easy. That means you are just making a separate buckets or separate basin to put that particular type of balls, so that it will help you to get that counting or maybe issuing or maybe something like whatever the matrix which we required, which we can get it. The database of any software, it works in the same manner. In simple words, example you take it. So red and green ball, if I say that this is the data means what? You may create a company code, you may create a GL account, you may create posting centers, you may do some cost center creation, whatever it is, it's a data. Once you save it, okay, once you save it, if you don't have different clusters or else a different identity of information to be stored, then it will go and sit in one single database. Then if you want to if you want to know, like, okay, how many company codes or something, some information, if you want to fetch, what you want to do, the system will go and check everything, just like putting all the information out and checking how much is this, how much is this, what information. That's the reason what they do. They keep a separate tables. We call it as a table. Separate tables for each type of information, and it will go and store that in the tables. Example, tables means if you are creating a company code, it will store in one table. If you are creating chart of account, it will store in one table. All related chart of accounts. If you are posting entry in FP60, FP70, so it will go and store it in posting entries. It will store in one table. You are creating vendor, it will store in the store. You are creating GL, it will store in one table. Like that, separate tables for each. It is just like a buckets, separate information. Here, the tables you can understand as like a bucket, and the data you can mention it as in balls. That is, we call it as a fields. The information capture. Hope you got a clarity what I am trying to tell. Madhav and Santosh.
Yes, sir.
Santosh, you got the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, in SAP, every transactions, it may be whatever the things which you save it, you may have to see it in real time. You may have to see it again and again. Example, I created my company code in OX02 in the initial stage of my this one. I want to check out that. If I want to create, I go to new entries and I create new one. So that this is the creation. So the creation will go, and when you create, you go and check it in table based on type of information. And when you want to see the details, okay, now I want to create, I created. It will go and store it. For example, I'll create it as BKID, I'll create just ABC Limited, a simple company code, I'll save it. Just assume, just I save this. When I enter this and when I save this, it will go and sit in one table. Which table I will tell you. This is what I'm putting the information to the database, BKID, which I created. After doing this, I want to know the details again about this. Again, I go to OX02. I want to check whatever I created, and I find this BKID. It will show the details here. So where it is stored? It's stored in backend database. That is hard disk, whatever we call it in computer language. That is stored. That is stored in a type of tables, we call it. In database, it's just like a clusters, different cluster for different information. So it will store here BKID. That will fetch the data. It is in mobile, just like a mobile. So whenever you want to see that, like when you give input and system fetch the fetch the data from table where it is stored. Okay, got it? Got the idea what is table and what is this?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yes. Now each whatever we call this tabs, each we call it as a field. We call this as a field in SAP. It may be in company code, it may be in GL account creation, it may be in posting of entries. Every tab, whatever you see, that we call it as a field. A group of field will be assigned to one table. So this information go and sit. This field, whatever the information is entered, it should go and sit it in this table like that. Example, now you see, I'll open up my GL account. If you want to see a GL account, where do you go and see? You go to FS00 and see, right? That's right, Santosh?
Yes, sir.
Santosh?
Yes, sir.
We can see here. Okay, in BI-20 company code, I have this GL account. Yes. The same thing, I have one table which is stored this data. Whatever you are seeing is a front end where it can show the report in a way which you want. But I'll go to one table. I'll tell you this detail. SC16 is one T code is there. There I'll mention this SKB1 T code. I take a table name is SKB1. Okay, and here I give my company code and I execute the program. See that the GL account, 20 GL accounts whichever we created till now, we all the things we can see. See 1500 GRIR account and 2099 this one like asset clearing account and all these things which you can see. So this is the table and this is the front end. From here only the data will show always. Example, let me go to the transactions. FB03. I go to document list and I give my company code and I'll fetch all the documents whichever is posted till now. In FB03 we can fetch this. So total 30 entries are there. I have one table for the same thing AC16N. The T code is AC16N. So the table name is BKPF we call it. I give my company code and I execute the program. You see the same 30 entries from 1000 100 100 till what 407, like last one is 5103. You can see the same 5103 RE document. So the way it's showing here in detail, it will store the data. This is the front end. Whatever the information is required, it will fetch from here only. This is database. This is this one. So the in database, the BKPF is one of the table cluster of that information, particular information. Got it right?
Sir, the table names. How do we get to know the table names? For
That I will
example,
tell you.
for
That I will.
yeah.
That I will tell you. But you should understand the under what is table. You should understand first.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understood, right, Santosh and Madhav?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Understood.
Now, how to remember this table? Yes. See, it's not possible to remember. Lakhs of tables are there, and thousands of tables in SA in FICO itself there. But whenever you are posting any transaction, or else if you are doing any configuration, example, I go to chart of accounts, okay, OB13 T code, or where we create a chart of account, and I'm creating a chart of account. You want to know where it, in which table it will store. Okay, just click here and click on this help button. Click on this help button and you get some information on this. Any field, it may be here, it may be here, any field, anywhere. Like maybe posting, maybe GL account, maybe company code, maybe chart of account, maybe fiscal year, maybe cost center, maybe BP, whatever it is. Just click here and go here and click on this technical information. You get the table name and the field name. The field name for this chart of account is KTOPL and the table name is V underscore T004. Actually, T004 is the T code where you can see this chart of account. Go to FS00. So let me go to FS00, and you see you don't know which table it is. Okay, I go here, or else I click on this, and I click on help button, and I go to technical information. You see that field name and the table name. Okay, let me go to cost center, OKEON, and go to controlling area B-20, and the group name is there. Let me take this, and you want to know which field, just click here and go to interest, and you see this. This is the CK, KSZ is the table name, and this is a KOSTL. Actually, there is a structure is there. Remember, the structure has multiple. Actual structure means it's a combination of multiple tables, and it has a different idea. But actually, we see the individual. Actually, it's a CSKS. That's it. The table name. That I will tell you later. But the basically, when you are understanding, you should have this idea only. The table and field, how to find it. Anytime. So that's the reason. What did I do? I did one some important tables which are required for your career from FICO, and I made the important fields of that particular this. I paste it here. How do you remember this? The only way which you have to read every day these table names. Every day is just simple because in interview they definitely ask you what are the important tables in this FICO. They may ask you where do you store company code information, how do the tax information will store, where the chart of account will store, like this. At least you should have this 33, 35 tables which I'm mentioning here. At least you should have this now. So if you tell this means they will be convinced. So that when you become consultant, you automatically understand how to remember all these things by practice. But right now you should at least every day, just morning or evening, just once you see this, okay, table is company code information stores here, chart of account. Don't worry about the fields. Just think of these tables. Fields we'll see later. So you can see the GL account has two tables. BKPF is for a document entry will be having two tables. And go for customer information will store in KNA1, K1, B1, BSID, BSAK. Customer postings. When you post invoices, it will store it in BSID. When you make a payment, it will store the document will store it in BSAD. Vendors as well, BSIK, BSA. The vendor, when you create a vendor, it will store it in LFBA1. When you extend it to a vendor, it's going to be LFB1. Sorry, extended to company code. And BP will store it in BUT000. And go for tax keys will store here. Fixed assets tables, these are the fixed assets controlling tables. These are the asset customer cost centers is CSKS, and profit center is CPC. Like this, hundreds of tables. If you understand this much is enough. Got it? Got the idea?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Both of you?
Yes, sir.
Santosh?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Got it.
Then we have fields here. Okay, we take a small break. Then okay, then we'll continue. Uh, Here I'll explain you the fields after with fresh mind because tables you understand. I just also understand because fields, hundreds of fields are there. We should just have some idea of fields, how to remember the fields, where the common fields will come. Okay, we take a small break. It's 10:49. We'll connect at 11:01. Okay, 11:01.
Okay, sir.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
One second. Yes, you can see here The important field names which I mentioned. What is the meaning of fields here? Okay, the field is the table which has different fields. Example, you see here, this is the field name, this is the field name. Each field, it is identified with name, and all not every field is important. Okay, you cannot remember every field also, because if you go to T001, you see n number of fields, like lot of fields are there. You go to T004, you see a lot of fields. Everything is not. So I mentioned here important fields. You don't remember this, also you don't need to remember these fields. By default, you'll understand, in the long term, you keep on working on this, you understand this field names easily. For example, in BKPF, you find the same field whichever is available in T001 also. Some of the fields is going to be common for many tables. So I mentioned which are important. Example, in T001, if it is important BUKRS, that is also there in BKPF. I didn't mention. I have taken the important fields here. Just read it as an habit. Don't try to remember. You don't remember this also. Okay, field names. But important is you should remember the table names. At least you should be able to tell if I ask, okay, where do you the tax codes will store, where do the GL accounts will get stored, or some which are the tables which are related to vendors and customers, like that. You should be able to tell those fields name, this one tables. So we may think, why do we use it? So what is the requirement? See, it's very much important in, like, whenever we get the queries from clients. Queries means what? They may ask you some information. We are not getting this information. We want some details of this, more detail, because whenever it's a system is storing some data. Example, you say here, I go to OX02. You just see that OX02. I have created one company called BKID, just to show you this. What did I mention here? I mentioned only 4 or 5 fields. Hardly 6 fields I mentioned, and also additional I mentioned IN here. That's it. But when you go and check the same thing in T001, the table, you should go to SC16N. The T code is SC16N. You should go there and you can see that I mentioned this T code here to check the table. And I go to T001 and I mention BKID company code, whichever I created, just to show you as an input, and I'll execute the program. You see here how many information it will get. So what I mentioned company code, name, and city, and all these things. But you see here, many things, many fields it has. If you update many things, it will update that also. We have that options. In that one field, table, how many fields are there? As per requirement, they do it. It's not a problem. But so we have to understand whatever is required. Example, in header data, let me take you to the like one entry, whichever we posted in FB50 or FB60, F-02. So this part we call it as a header data. You see, I click here and I'll click on this and I'll go to technical thing. So you can see this. So this is the BLDAT. Actually, this is a structure table which we call it. Structure has a different idea that you will understand later. But these things will store it in BKPF table. BKPF. So this BKPF has actually only have this much information. But if you go and check that BKPF here, I take one company and all the documents I will take, all 30 will come. See, within one BKPF table, so whatever we mentioned, date and other things we mentioned, company code, currency, but you see how many fields are there. These are and all fields. These are field technical name. So this is not directly usable. Sometimes to make a customized report. What is customized report? The information of reports which is not provided by SAP standard. That means we are not getting all the reports whichever is required for client. Then we prepare customized report. Means we ask the system, like we prepare a program to fetch some of the data in a particular format. in a particular format. That is why we use it for tables and fields and all. Hope you are getting right the points.
Yes,
Manjunath,
sir.
Santosh,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it is very much required to write FS. We call it functional specification. We call this as a functional specification. What does it mean? Suppose you see, I want some report which is not provided by SAP standard. Means report means different information, different type of what we call it, like information. We must look into this. For example, see, you have 50,000 rupees in your hand, okay, and you spent on rent and provisions, on electricity, on cleaning, and food, traveling, all these things. See, if Madhav is doing this 50,000 spent, like Madhav is doing, and some you have to report it to Santosh. Santosh may ask in this way, okay, give me the report, like information, how do you spend? I want the rent, how much you spent. I want the provision, how much you spent, electricity, how much you spent. I want a bifurcation of this. This is one way of Santosh is expecting, and I am on top of Santosh. Just example, I am a boss of Santosh. Santosh is a boss for Madhav. Anand is Santosh boss. And when I ask, okay, no, I want the breakup of, okay, if he is making a provisions, I want the detail of provisions, how much is spent on food ingredients, and how much is spent on other stuffs like maybe cleaning, soaps, and other things. And all. I want that breakup. And the traveling is says, okay, if the traveling is, which are the necessary traveling for this, and which are the unwanted travels. Unwanted travels means like maybe he may go went for some time pass. And food, okay, is the food, the breakup of food, how much lunch he has taken, how much dinner he has taken. So this breakup I want. Like this, I may ask you the information, same information in a different way. I may ask you that. So maybe like this, if some reports are showing some GL is showing some this way, and one company maybe may ask this one, and this may be provided. This may be this report, whatever is Santosh is expecting, that may be available in SAP standard report only. We have a lot of standard reports, but whatever I am asking, whatever I am asking in detail may not be available in SAP standard. So that in the time what we do, we go for customized report. We call it as customized reports. What does it mean customized report? We find the information where this information are available, and we ask the technical people to develop technical consultant like ABAPer to develop a report as required by client, or else let me take my example. So that's the reason. Then on that time when we are finding this information, we may have to go to this type of table and field, and we have to search for the information, and we have to make the linking. Okay, where you find this information, how do you bring this information here? So when we want to communicate to the technical people, we have to mention we call it as a functional specification. We have to mention this functional specification. Hope you are clear. I tell you how to write a functional specification, and you how to write a functional specification, and then you'll understand better. But right now, you should understand the necessity of the tables and fields. Hope you are both are clear on this. If you
Yes,
have
sir.
any question,
Yes, sir.
if you have any question or clarification, you can ask me. Because in interview, definitely if you mention in your resume, I know how to write a functional specification. Definitely they will ask you how do you write it, why do you write it, what are the things you consider. A lot of things will come. I show you one functional specification here, okay, to understand this, so that next class I can tell you in like I can make you to write in functional specification. Just a minute. I'm not getting that one second. Got it. See, I have one. Actually, it's a real-time FS. Okay, real-time FS. See, here afterwards, everything is going to be like real-time training. Okay. See, something I have project name, and this is uniquely how companies work. Like it depends on the consultant to consultant, companies to companies. How do they want? They rate it. So this is the way which I understood, and I think that Avaper understands very clearly. So I started like this. This is not mandatory that every company should follow the same format. Remember that. Example here, I have a custom TDS report because the information which I said is not available in standard, so that I want custom TDS report. Here, if I take this, there is a version and other things, project code and everything is there. So if you come here below, so here, business requirement, custom TDS report. There's a process logic, input fields. On the selection screen, I want to put the fiscal year, that's the BSCG table, and this is the fiscal year name, and document number, and posting date, and GL account number. If I mention this much, I want system, the program should fetch these fields. The company code, business area, fiscal year, and amount that stores in account SAKNR from table VSCG. Condition is account type should be yes, and GL account long text is text, and vendor, and the get data, the GST number and other things, reference and assignment document number, TDS value. If you click on this, I have an attachment. I show you the sample report. See, this is the report which I want. So this is the format: company code, and this for report is not available. So I am asking the technical people to prepare this, so that I am telling that okay, it's like year, month, GL account, and vendor, and there's a vendor name and the reference, document number, clearing document number, document type, purchase document, posting date, base value of TDS value, and document currency with the tax percentage and withholding tax type, PAN number, GST, every information we are bringing here. So based on this, what this FS, based on this FS, the ABAPer will develop. The ABAPers only understand this technical names. They don't understand if I say fiscal year. If I say okay, business area, you bring it. They don't understand what is business area, because we are functionally, we know what is business area. Why do we use it? So what is fiscal year? We know what is period. We know months. We know what is GL account, but they don't know. They will not be knowing that what is account and all. They understand. Okay, see, you do like your program should work like this. So on the selection for input, like just like input means like when I enter the FBL3N, right? FBL3N I'll mention. Just example I entered FBL3N. This is the input field. If I enter this GL account and execute this program with my company code, I should get I get this information. This is one program. So this is input, and this is whatever we get it executed. This is output. So in input screen, I want the program should have these options to mention the fiscal year and the posting date, posting period, and GL account and the document number. Through this, system should go push these documents to this table BSCG, and it has to fetch these data from BSCG. This, it looks very something. Actually, we write in paste together all these things in real time, but it's very easy actually. And there's some conditions we mean. So amount is credited, show a negative value based on the debit and credit indicator in ASCII. This is the field name. Example, if amount is rupees credit and something is like this. However you want, you have to do this. You have to do this, because once you do now, you'll become expert. I give a simple FS requirement, and you have to write, not this much bigger. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll give a simple. You have to write down, and you have to come back. For that, by next week, you have to be familiar with these tables and fields. You have to be very familiar with this table, at least tables, not a fields. Leave it. At least tables, you should be familiar. I give you one FS writing. You have to write and you have to show. I tell you how to write, and I'll show you how to write. Once you become some little bit familiar by next week, you must become familiar with this by next week, these tables at least, so that I will show you how to write an FS in the next class. And once it is showed, and you can, what do we do? You can write your own. I'll give you two assignments. You have to write your own FS and you have to submit. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Mahadev?
Sir.
Got it.
Santosh, you got it?
Yes,
FS you
sir.
don't understand right now. Okay, don't worry about this. If you're not understanding this, don't worry. I'll make you to write this FS after you become familiar with these tables, names, and go and check the tables. And if I ask you, okay, what is the table name to like customer stores? You should be able to tell that, okay, customer stores in KNB1 in company code segment, general segment KNA1. You can see here. And if I ask you where the BPE stores, B2000, yes, you should be able to tell this. If I ask you, okay, what are the important tables, you should be able to tell at least 10 out of this 35. Okay, so all these things are important. You should mug up this by 1 week and you have to come back. Got it now?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yes, sir.
Both of you. Santosh,
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Yes, sir.
very much important from the interview point of view. To get the job, this will help you a lot. Okay, got it?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what I suggest, Today, let it be stop here for only one topic because I don't want to mix other topic with this, because I thought substitution plus this one substitution we didn't do, but this is important because next class it's going to be continuation of this. I'm going to write an FS in front of you, how to write an FS and other things, so that you should get an idea of that. But it's very much important. Don't forget. By next week, at least you should be able to tell nearby tables, and at least you should remember tables and other things. And you can go and check your R&D. Any field you can go and check. Okay, where it stores. What is this? Just you do your R&D wherever you do work. Here it says K1. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So I shared this video as soon as possible, and read it by next week. You can leave other things, but this one is important. Next week I must complete this. That means this I want to take it forward. Without knowing this, I cannot take it forward. If you don't know the table and other things, it's difficult me to make you understand what is FS. FS means functional specification, which we write for the purpose of customized reports, customized programs, and other things just like this. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See this. We'll see. We'll meet again next Saturday, same time, 11:30. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Okay. Thank you,
Sir.
sir.
Bye. Bye.